Hello and welcome to another showcase of a new game I just made. I imported everything into a tabletop simulator. The game is called, for now, a Creature, and it is basically a horror survival game. So let me show you all the components. So this is like a small big game. A big game in the small package. So what you have here is 9 cards. Some of them are double-sided. So for instance, these cards here represent the station in which this survival gonna happen. These are double-sided. There are A and B side, and they are also numbered from 1 to 6. That's because it's important, because when you randomize where the creature that you hiding from is gonna spawn, these numbers on these sectors are important. So how the game works, I'm just gonna quickly explain what we have here, and after that I'm immediately gonna start playing the game. So let's start from left to right. So this card here is actually representing the status of the rig. The game is set on the drilling rig under the sea. You were part of the team that were working on the rig when you were attacked by some kind of a creature. You don't know what it is. It's basically killed everybody on the station, and you are the only survivor, and then you and I trying to escape. So this is where the status of the rig is gonna be tracked, because the rig is under much pressure. The creature damaged all kind of systems all over the modules, and there is a whole statistic, pressure statistic and temperature, because there is a fire on the rig. Hull is like buckling under the pressure of the sea, and these cubes are used to represent which parts of this rig or the station are damaged. Then we have a player card. It's here, which has also 3 stats. It has a health, combat and a shield, and stamina and escape value. These work with 1d6 dice. I'm going to explain how. And we have cubes. You actually have a little access to show you where the cubes should start. So right now my combat is 3, my stamina is also 3, and my health is 6. If my health ever reaches the skull, I immediately die and it's a game over. Now, depending where these cubes are, you have some bonuses or negative effects. So for instance, right now my combat is 3, which means I have a +1 to any dice I locked here. So for instance, if I lock a dice 5, my combat is going to be 6. Now, this is also my shield. So I have right now 3 points of shield, which I can use to, remove some damage from my health. So if something attacks me for, let's say, 6, I can remove 3 shield. This will be removed completely, and then I'm going to take 3 damage, but at least I'm not going to get all 6 damage. And in this game is really easy to die from the creature, and the creature is actually almost indestructible. So yeah, it's your main adversary in this game. We also have 2 dice that's going to be used by the game effects and by the creature itself. We have a cube that's going to represent us on this little map here, where we are moving through the rooms. Then we have the creature itself, that actually represented with this card. It has 3 statuses. It can be let me do this like this. So it can be alerted, agitated or angry, and depending in which status it is, it do different things. When it's angry, it can kill you basically with 1 hit, or it moves faster. It also sometimes hides, then ambushes you and do water stuff. So this is basically AI of the creature that's gonna move over this station. On the other side, we have the station events, because the station basically is is under it's damaged, it's on fire, everything is basically crumbling down, so all kind of bad events gonna happen through the game. Alright, for this you actually need a little something to just track the creature status, and of course one cube that represents creature itself. Alright, and here above we have this like a rig or station which we're gonna make. It has these 6 modules. Each module have some critically important part of the station. So for instance, there is a main communication dish, there is a fusion reactor, then we have the ore processing unit, hydroponics, and main computer. Also we have a live board, which is important because it affects how we can win this game, and there is also medical where you can actually heal yourself, and doesn't have any critical components, but you know, it can be used for healing or hiding from the creature. So how do we play this game? Well, first of all, you're gonna make your station. Now there are some rules you need to do when doing this. So for instance, when you're making station, first you're gonna take this com station A1, and then you're gonna decide, are you gonna use A1 side or B1 side. Let's say I'm gonna use the B1 side. The next card I'm gonna take must be an A, so they must go from B to A and from A to B and so on. So this is the side I'm gonna need to use. Now you're gonna connect these cards following the orthogonal adjacency. So I can place it like this, as long at least one side is orthogonally is touching the other side of the card. So I can even do it like this if I want to, but let's say I want to keep it upright, and I'm gonna place it like this. So medical now must go to B side, and you can see it's actually horizontal. So now I can connect it like this, or I can connect it like this, or I can connect it like this. So if it's connected like this, it is adjacent to the communication station and the power room. So maybe I want my station to be looking like this. Alright, so the next part must be an A side, so this is it. Let's say I'm gonna connect this processing unit with the communication station like this, and then the next must be the B side. Okay, these are the crew quarters. Let's connect them to the medical like this. And lastly, let's take the must be A main computer. Well, I think the main computer is going to be connected to the crew quarters. So there's a little game in this where you can build your station as you see fit. Okay, now that I build this, I'm going to lock it down so it doesn't flip. And then I'm gonna explain you how what we have here on the station, what these icons means, and how do you actually move through. But before I do that, I'm gonna spawn myself on the station. So that's the first thing you do. How do we do this? Well, I'm gonna take one dice, and this is basically dice that I'm using. I'm gonna roll it, and it's a 6, which means I'm gonna spawn on the sector 6. As you can see, all these sectors are numbered. This is 4, 1, 2. So let's see where the 6. This is the sector 6. It is AI core. So that's where I'm going to spawn. And then we roll again to see in which room, because as you can see, rooms are numbered. So I'm gonna spawn in room 3. This is where I start. Alright, now let me explain these rooms and what we have here. So as you can see, the rooms are connected with these yellow lines. You can move from room to room if it's connected. Rooms are all numbered, and there is a train station. There are also doors between some rooms. So whenever I'm moving from room to room, now in this case I have to move like here, here, and then I have to move on the door. So the player must move also on doors. So if I have like 3 points of movement, I can move like 1, 2, and it's gonna finish on the door 3. If I have more movement, I can move forward and so on and so on. But doors are also considered as spaces. Now this is important because for the creature that it's not working like this. So when creature moving, it moving from one connected room to another. It basically bypasses the door, just moves through it. Door will not stop the creature. So that's the first thing, that it has advantage over you. So basically I need more actions to move than the creature itself. Then we have the tram station. Tram station is like connected to all other, as you can see, these modules of this big rig or the station. So for instance, from this tram station I can move to any other. But here's the problem. The tram station works only if the fusion reactor and the main computer are not damaged. So if one of them are damaged, the tram station is not working. So first I need to basically fix the fusion reactor and the main computer, and then the tram station is gonna work. We'll see will that work actually. We're gonna go through how you set up the rig and the situation you are in. Also we have these little icons. We have cameras. We have turrets. They are like security turrets. We have ventilation shafts. We have armory where you can upgrade your weapons. We have computers. We also have power nodes. What else? We have a medical helping station when you can actually heal. And I think that's all of the icons. Yeah, that's basically that. So each of them has a function that is important for the game, and I'm going to explain them when I do a playthrough, not right now. So just keep in mind that we all have these icons, and lots of room has basically every module has a power node. It is very important, and some of them, well, most of them has a computer, and maybe more these security turrets and cameras depending where you are. Alright, so now that I'm spawned myself, now we're gonna set the status of the station, and then let's go to this card here. So if we pick up this dice, we will see that hull is d6 plus 2. So let's see how much hull is damage actually. So 3 plus 2, hull is actually on 5. Alright. Then we check the pressure. We are many miles under the deep underwater, and the pressure is actually affecting the station. So let's see how much pressure is on the station. It's 4 minus 2, so it's going to be 2. So it's not that big deal. Not big pressure for now. Then we have the temperature, depending how much fire is raging through the station. It's also d6 minus 2. So let's see that. That's a 6 minus 2, that's going to be 4. So we have some fires already all over the station, as you can see. Now, you can't go below 1, so for instance, if I roll 1 minus 2, it's still going to be just 1. Same when you're going above, basically. So why is this setting important? Well, if hull ever reaches 0, rig will suffer total failure. Basically, it's just gonna implode, and it's a game over instantly. You're gonna die. And if temperature goes over 6, the rig will also suffer total failure. So if temperature rises over 6, it's also game over. We also have these little arrows pointing like are the dice like increasing or decreasing. So hull is basically decreasing below 0, while the pressure and temperature can go over the 6. Now, if pressure reaches 6 or more, well, can't go over more, but if it reaches 6, hull will suffer 1 damage at the end of every round. So basically, as the pressure is 6, the hull will start to buckle, and the station is just gonna implode it's gonna go down, down, and hull will lose integrity, and just going to die. Then we have this event little board with these little cubes, and now we need to roll to see which part of these important modules of the stations are damaged. How we do that? We roll 1d6 6 times, but before we actually roll the d6 6 times, we immediately take one cube and place it on the lifeboat, because lifeboat is always damaged. It always starts damaged. Alright, and now we're gonna roll basically 5 times for the rest of the station. If I roll the same number twice, that's it. It's not gonna get damaged any further. So let's see. Roll number 1. We have so the fusion reactor is damaged. You see, I roll a 2. That's this part of the station. So fusion reactor get damaged. Second roll, we have a 3. So what's that? Number 3, medical. Well, in medical, I actually have to roll to see which room is going to get damaged. Room number 5. So basically this camera is not working in this room. Not that much important, but could be later. You'll see why. Okay, rolling for the... Continue rolling. So third roll. Okay, number 1. Which means main communication dish is damaged. Fourth roll, again number 1. So now I'm just gonna roll to see which room will be damaged. So let's see, room number 4. Oh, that's the same. So nothing basically. And the last roll, number 3. Okay, that's possibly a room in the medical. So let's check. Room number 4. So this computer is not working. So that's the current damage of the station. As you can see, some important parts are damaged. So fusion reactor is damaged, which means the tram station is down, because tram station can only work if the fusion reactor and main computer are both not damaged. Also, there are some other rules about these things. For instance, is if hydrophonics are damaged, then you can't use healing stations. Basically, you need to fix the hydrophonics to use the healing station. Now, as you can see here, we have one cube here, and this X actually representing that this is the last cube you should take from the board. And when you fill in the board, you starting from this and from this column and going from right to left. This number 3 plus is very important, because as you can see, the more things are damaged, it's easier to get the event, because during the event phase, whenever I roll 3 or more, we're gonna have the station event. We'll see how that works very soon. Alright, and the last thing we do after we set the station and a spawn point, we're gonna spawn the creature, and we're also gonna check in which status it's gonna start. So we're gonna roll 1d6. So the creature is gonna be agitated. As you can see, 3 to 4, it's agitated. So let's place this here. You could track this if you build the game with a basically paper clip, but I don't have a paper clip in Tabletop Simulator, so I'm using this little cube here. And last, let's see where the creature is gonna spawn. So first we roll for the part of the station. It is part number 3. It's gonna spawn in medical, and then we roll for the room. It's gonna spawn in room number 5. So it's here. Let's presume that the creature actually moved through here and damaged the cameras and computer. It is a little agitated, so we can understand why it's destroying stuff as it's moving around. It's also very close to me. Now, when you travel between these parts of the station, usually I can use either tram station to move from one to another, or I can use these how it's called, ventilation shafts. There's a rule in the game, so whenever I use a tram station, I have to play one event, one of these events from the second part, other part of the card with the creature. And whenever I'm using the ventilation shafts, and by the way, you can use ventilation shafts to move to adjacent parts of the station. So for instance, through this ventilation shaft I can move here because that's adjacent, and then from this ventilation shaft I can either move here or I can move here because this is also adjacent, or here. So right now I'm here. So the problem is creature also uses ventilation shafts. So when creature activates, it's trying to get to you using the fastest way possible. So for instance, if it activates, it's gonna probably move like this. It doesn't stop at the doors like I do, so it's gonna probably move like this into the ventilation shaft. It's gonna jump out here, and you know, I'm gonna be in trouble. So right now we are pretty close, so this will be very interesting. Alright, and that's basically the whole setup of the game, and now we can start playing. But I'm gonna leave that for the second video. For now, just imagine I'm alone on the station, everything is broken down, we are like miles under water, pressure is like destroying station. I need to do something to survive. And by the way, before I finish the video, I need to explain how do you win the game and how do you lose the game. So as I already said, you can lose the game if like temperature rises, or you lose a hull, station explodes. The other thing, you can lose the game, you just die. Basically the creature, if you know, if it brings my health to 0, I'm just going to die. And how do I win? Well, there's actually 3 ways I can win. The first way is if I fix everything. So for the lifeboat to work, I need to fix every of the main components of the station. So I need to fix the fusion reactor, the main communication dish. Well, only these 2. So I'm a bit lucky right now. So if I fix all of these, then I can basically fix the lifeboat. Once the lifeboat is fixed, it's not gonna get damaged again, because as you can see, lifeboat doesn't have these numbers, so it's kind of special part of the station. Now the thing is, even if it's fixed, the other parts still can get broken. So for instance, I can fix the lifeboat and, you know, lose the main computer later on. But if on the end of my turn everything is fixed, no damage to the main parts of the station, and the lifeboat is fixed, if I use 5 actions, I win the game immediately, because that's how much actions I need to jettison myself from the station and survive. And I'm gonna explain how the actions work in this game. They are connected to the stamina. You'll see how that works in the next video. The other way how can I win is if I actually kill the creature. Now it's not that easy. To kill the creature, I need to bring it to the ore processing unit, and I need to win the fight. Basically, I'm just gonna compress it, I guess, with this what's this processing unit. It's just gonna mesh it down. You know, that's a big processing unit that can just destroy everything, because it's processing ore. It can, you know, cut it down to little pieces and just pulverize it. So this is where I can win. So, but the problem is, processing unit works only if the fusion reactor is fixed. So right now I can't do that. I need to fix the fusion reactor. So if I bring the creature here, or if well, it will probably come to me because it's really easy to, attract the creature. And I win the fight, which means when we fight I need actually to win on the roll, which it's not always easy. It's gonna be destroyed and, I'm gonna win the game. Easier said than done. You'll see how that works. And the third way I can win is if I fix everything on the station. I don't need to fix the live bot, and then go to the main communication dish and use 5 action basically to call the help. After that I'm gonna roll 3 times on the pressure and the temperature. Basically we're gonna roll on the event table, and if nothing happens in these 3 times, the help's gonna come and I'm gonna survive. So that's also, these 3 turns I need to stay in the main communication dish, and lots can happen because the creature's gonna move around, and it's not that easy. But that's a chance also, because if it attacks me and I manage to win the combat and it's gonna run away from me, then I just need to stand still in the main communication dish for 3 turns, and I need to survive 3 events per turn basically. And these events are pretty brutal. I can actually show you how they look like. So for instance, when you're doing these events, we're gonna roll all 3 dice. Let's say I roll something like this. So that's 11. If you check under 11, it's explosion in sector D6. We roll to see where the explosion is, and if I'm there, I'm gonna take 2 wounds. So lots of this can happen basically. But the communication dish can only work if the fusion reactor is fixed. So it can happen that I actually lost the fusion reactor and then I have to do all over again, and so on and so on. So these things are not easy as it looked like, and to be honest, I play tested the game a few times already and I didn't manage to win. Out of 3 plays I didn't manage to win. I actually died from the creature many times. So yeah, let's end this video because it's already too long. So in the next video we're gonna see the playthrough, and yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and if you like the games I do and things I design, please subscribe and check my videos regularly. So goodbye.